Hello and welcome to the sideboard here at the StarCityGames.com Open Series in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm Ken Crocker here with Chris Andersen, top 8 competitor at the Invitational, Chris Andersen.
Yeah, almost got there.
Almost got there.
One game and a good matchup away.
So we decided to add a little bit of color to your deck from the Invitational.
Yeah. Green and white's just too bland.
Just too bland for you. So you're playing what we're going to refer to as the best deck in Standard that nobody's talking about.
I think I could get behind that.
All right, so Craig Wesco played it to a top 16 at the Pro Tour.
Yeah, he went 8-2 in the Constructed.
Sam Party played it to a top 8 at the last GP. Mm-hmm. Basically, it's Bant. It's Bant Midrange.
More or less, yeah. So the real engine behind the deck, and one that's I'm sure you guys are going to see frequently over the next month or two, is Den Protector Deathmist Raptor. This is just Deathmist Raptor comes down, he trades with something because he's got Death Touch.
Sure.
Then you play a Den Protector, unmorph it, Deathmist Raptor comes back, you get something else back, like maybe another Den Protector, and just loop them. Or just any other one of your fantastic cards, because this deck is chock full of fantastic cards. And you just grind people out, it's fantastic. Raptors, Josh Utter-Layton, who basically helps build...
not the Deathmist kind,
not Deathmist Raptor,
okay.
but Josh Utter-Layton Raptor said that Esper Dragon's worst matchup is probably Craig's deck at the Pro Tour.
Sure.
So that's a fantastic place where I want to be right now.
And that's where you want to be in this tournament.
Exactly. The consensus best deck is Esper Dragons, and this deck slaughters it.
Sure.
So...
so we are splashing blue. Looks like for normally just the Dragon Lord Ojutai, but you have a copy of Disdainful Stroke.
Yeah.
So is Ojutai, I mean, we know it's good.
Yeah, Ojutai's fantastic.
So is it worth a whole extra color?
I would say so. It's not very difficult to add another color in this format. The fixing is fantastic. You got your fetch lands, you got scry lands, you've got pain lands. Like it's fine. The more important thing, Ojutai's great, but there's plenty of good 5-drops in green and white too. You've got your Whisper Elementals, you've got your Wingmate Rocks, you've got your Ajani Mentors. Like there's a lot of good 5-drop options, so Ojutai isn't really particularly that much better than the rest of them. I would say he's probably better, but not that much better. The real important part though is getting your blue sideboard cards, because the blue sideboard cards are just amazing in this format right now. You got Disdainful Stroke, Negate, Encase in Ice, all
bunch of counter spells to help in some of the control matchups, maybe.
Basically, yeah. It allows you to get on the board early and keep that lead. Make sure they can't turn the corner.
So Craig's list had Surrak the Hunt Caller, but you decided to cut those instead, and you put in a couple Whisperwood Elementals instead.
So I'm running 2 Ojutais instead of 3, and then I have 2 Whisperwoods and the Disdainful Stroke. Those were the main cuts, the changes that I made. I think Whisperwood Elemental is great. Obviously, it's fantastic. I've been playing it in the Devotion deck over the last few weeks, and he's been phenomenal. 4 of, absolutely great card. It's also got perfect synergy with this deck. You flip over Den Protectors and Raptors and stuff, and you just go to town, So the synergy's fantastic. The power level is right up there with Ojutai also. It's easier to cast than Ojutai is. Also, Ojutai's a legend, so having 3 copies of it, especially when you manifest another one off like a Mastery or something, it can be a little annoying.
A little feel bad for you.
So like 1 of each is going to be better than 2 of either, I think, for most situations. The problem with Surrak that I was having is he's a great card, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't actually do anything. He's just a vanilla dude. And he's got haste, and he gives your other guy haste, that's great, but you're usually a little bit ahead already, and it's nothing that Whisperwood in its place wouldn't be able to take down. The curve is a little bit stranger. It's not quite as good as it was, but I think I'm okay with that, just because you've got 8 mana dudes. It's not difficult to get up to 5 mana, as opposed to 4 mana, 24 lands, 8 mana dudes. And the matchups where Surrak is good are matchups that, like, it's just a little bit better. So Green-White Devotion, for example, it's probably your worst matchup because they just go over the top of what you do. They're doing the same thing, but they're doing it bigger, and you can't get them fast enough. So like a Surrak draw is good against them if they don't have the Raptors to block it. If they do, it doesn't do anything. So
it just sits there.
Right, and like Green-Red Dragons, it kind of helps you race them a little bit, but they could kill it pretty easily. And I think Green-Red Dragons are going to start playing Raptors too, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah. The card's insane.
So yeah, I decided to make my deck a little bit slower, a little bit better in the mirror match, which I thought was going to be a pretty big thing, because I thought this deck was fantastic, and other people who figured that out this week also. I figured my Whisperwoods would be a lot better than their Surraks when I played them head up.
Fair enough.
That was why I went with that change. The 1 of Disdainful Stroke in the main, playing 1 counterspell in the main deck is just great.
Just to get them.
You get them. Yeah, they never see it coming.
So, and finally, we're going to talk about a couple of your removal spells. You have Valorous Stance and Dromoka's Command. So I have to assume the Valorous Stance is just kind of one of those things where you're trying to hedge against the Esper Dragons deck. It kills dragons. It kills some of the bigger green guys too.
It kills all kinds of stuff. Like kills Siege Rhinos, it kills Whisperwood Elementals, it kills
and we've seen
Ojutais.
Dromoka's Command in a lot of Abzan decks as well. So would you say that Dromoka's Command is probably better in this deck than in Abzan decks, or where would you put that?
I think it's probably about the same. There really isn't anything about this deck that synergizes that card better as opposed to the Abzan deck. Well, they're kind of doing similar things anyway.
Sure.
I assume you're talking about the Abzan Raptor deck, or are you talking about like Abzan Aggro?
I mean, all the Abzan decks seem to be running it lately.
Yeah, Dromoka's Command's great with Raptor because it's Death Touch and Fight. You know, it's great. Out of the board, I play Hornet Nests also, which are fantastic with Fight.
Get a little deep there.
And the Valor Stance, another bonus that you get from that is that it lets you protect your Ojutai in the main deck, which is really cool. So attacking with Ojutai, you attack for 5. They like have a removal spell for it. And you're like, nope, I've got protection. Which is in the sideboard, you're bringing in like negates and stuff, so you've got ways to protect it. But having him in the main deck.
In the main deck is awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate you taking the time to side us in from the sideboard.
Absolutely. It's been
Good
fun.
luck with the rest of your rounds.
Thanks so much.
All right, stay tuned for more standard action here at the Open Series in Cleveland.